I got this dope ass necklace out of that transfer case rebuilt. What you think, homies? Hey meatheads, I'm back. I finally got my drive shaft back from Tom Woods. Just got it back about 2 days ago. Now I did take it out of the box because of course I wanted to look at it, and I'm impatient. They had called me on the phone. What they told me was that the centering ball inside the double cardan joint, they said the centering ball had wear and play in it. One of the U-joints had a melted nylon something or other. I don't know if that was inside the U-joint or the seal around the base of the cap. I'm not really sure. Didn't ask him. But when I was talking to him, that's what they told me. So they said they replaced the centering ball housing, the centering ball, and all of the U-joints. When I asked him if it was out of phase, that's when, I said clocking in my last video. I asked him if it was out of phase or if it was unbalanced, and he said no. He said just the centering ball, and he goes, this is what happens when you put a lift on vehicles, blah, blah, blah. And as I'm on the phone with him, I'm rolling my eyes because when you lift a Jeep Grand Cherokee, you're not dropping the front diff when you lift the vehicle. Now, you do on the rear because you put bigger springs or spacers, and that rear drops down, so that changes the angle of the drive shaft. So So I said that to him. I said, well, it's a fixed diff. It's mounted to the subframe of the motor, and the transfer case and the transmission and the engine are all basically fixed via rubber motor mounts. Now those can wear out, and none of them are bad, but they can wear out and they could cause things to, shift a little bit. But they're not worn out, and I've already checked the angles on this front drive shaft before I took it off and mailed it back to them. And all the angles, everything was great. Everything came back in spec, and really there was no issue with the alignment of the drive shaft. So from the front pinion to the transfer case, there was no difference from a stock shaft to this shaft to a lifted or non-lifted Jeep Grand Cherokee WK. So the weights that were on the old shaft, there were two giant, huge weights here, and then one just off center, just like this one, over here, but also thicker. So if you look at the thickness of that weight and the thickness of this weight, they were much thicker than that. They were huge. So there was two of them here. It was almost like they were doubled up. There were two here and one over here. I didn't take a picture of that. And this is also a new sticker because the other sticker was peeled up a little bit. They also repainted it. You can see I got this back 922. Well, that's when they fixed it or did whatever. And they repainted it. So I don't know if they made a completely new shaft or just replaced a couple parts and rebalanced it. I don't know. I'd imagine if you're replacing some of the centering ball housing, that's the centerpiece of that double cardan joint, I'd imagine that it's probably going to be a different weight. So I'm sure that they had to balance it and rebalanced it. But they said nothing about it being out of balance from the get-go from when I bought it originally. I don't know. I just know by what I've experienced. And what I've experienced is that shaft, everything points to it being out of balance. Because if it was out of balance and I ran it for quite a few, well, actually 9 months almost, if I ran it for 9 months and I put, a few thousand miles on it, that's going to wear things. Yeah, that's going to heat up a U-joint and melt a piece of nylon. I took a 1,500 mile road trip, and being on the highway doing 80 miles an hour, 75, 80 miles an hour, at a continuous clip, that's going to cause heat problems. I'd imagine that would be why it melted a U-joint, nylon part of a U-joint. So I'm going to put this back in, and then I'll show the stock CV shaft that I've been running for the past week and a half, and I'll explain the harmonic I'm hearing and why I'm hearing it, and I'll show you that shaft. Fingers frickin' crossed. I mean, I'm just really hoping that this thing doesn't vibrate. If it is, I've still got 3 months left on my warranty. So I actually, before I ship this, I was going to stop somewhere and I found another place that they work on drive shafts, and they're hard to find around here. But I found somebody that they could have thrown it on a machine and checked the balance. And part of me is like, I wish I would have, but I had also read that day too that if anybody else works on the drive shaft, there goes your warranty out the window. So I didn't really want to risk that, and I just kind of figured that I will trust it, that they will make it right and they'll make it good. So fingers crossed that this is good this time. What are you doing? No, the subscribe button's over there. Yeah. Push that. Perfect. Good job. In other news, we've got that sucker rebuilt. I'm in the middle of editing it, so we'll get there. It's probably going to be long and boring, kind of like the front differential I did. That's kind of a boring video, but if you're looking to rebuild this transfer case, an NV245J, there's a lot of good stuff in it that hopefully you learn something out of it. So hopefully you're not too bored with my stuff after my last video. So that was my first driving experience and videotaping driving. And the wife's in the car, and she doesn't like to do the crazy stuff. And even if it's not crazy, it could be like a little too much. So what we did was just some back road driving. And I really should have changed camera angles and whatnot, but I'm learning. So I don't know if you're interested in seeing that kind of crap, but I don't know. I don't know where this YouTube channel is going. I really don't. I don't really know what to do with it. I just I like it. I like doing this stuff. I like making videos. I actually enjoy the editing process, but I have to get in the mood to do it because it's quite a bit of work. I never would have realized, what actually goes into making a quality YouTube video. And I'd say my videos are kind of in quality. They're not quite there, but they'll get there, I'm sure, I hope, maybe. That's up to you guys. I mean, if it's going to go anywhere, you guys have to show me that you want me to do anything. So keep liking and subscribing, and I'll keep making videos. But I'm going to go put this thing in. I'll let you guys know how that goes, and I'll be back. All right, so I got the stock one back out. So I replaced this CV joint a while ago, actually. But this is the one that's really bad. I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. You probably can't hear it. Big flat spot right there. Here too. So, because of how this goes together, this U-joint is pressed in there, and you cannot get it out without boogering that up and replacing it. And then now there's no way to set it and know that you're at the right depth and even and centered properly. So I've seen people try it, they've done it, some people failed, but I don't trust it, so I went with Tom Woods, only to have problems. One other thing to note is that I believe Tom Woods gives you 4 of these bolts. They replace the Allen head bolts, the hex head bolts that go in the stock shaft. These are 8mm heads, and they're 12-point. Well, that didn't work out so well. I put the new shaft back in, and the vibration was back. And I'm not sure if it's just the placebo effect or something, but I feel like the vibration was worse than it was before. I'm sure it's a little bit different. So, as you can see now, it's back sitting on the table. And I put the stock shaft back in. That night, this has been 3 days since I put this thing back in and took it back out. I wound up doing some research, just looking online, reading forums, reading comments, anything I could find. And there isn't a whole lot of information about a Tom Woods shaft on a WK, but the things I did find was quite interesting. And I'll post some screenshots of that stuff here, but So Sean at Tom Woods had commented on one of the Jeep forums, and somebody else with the same issue. There's a couple different things that were talked about, and it's very similar as to what the problem I'm having is. And what he had said was probably out of 100 of these shafts, 3 of them come back with this same exact issue. And they don't know. They don't know what the issue is. They don't know. Nobody really knows. And they've just come to terms with the fact that this is what happens on a WK. These shafts, the double cardan joint, it just, something about it, the geometry of it, it just doesn't play nice with the WK. So that's very frustrating. Because I'm the kind of person, I want to know why. I want to know how to fix it. I want to know every little thing I can and figure it out and make it work. And there's pretty much nothing. Like, nobody knows. Nobody has a clue. The only thing that I can think of that seems to be an issue is the way this adapter flange. So this is the double cardan. It's a double cardan. It's 2 U-joints. This is the flange that goes into the transfer case output yoke on the front. The only thing that I'm finding is that it's a very tight fit. So when this goes into that yoke, I can't get it in there by hand. It takes a lot to try and push it in by hand, and I still have a gap. So the OEM shaft uses 6 bolts on here. This uses 4 bolts. And obviously you can't get a bolt here because this is in the way. There's no way you'd ever get a bolt in there. So it's just the way it is. So what happens is, as I'm trying to pull this in with the bolts, I'm wondering if it's just cocking it one way or another and preventing it from seating and mating flush against the face of that yoke and the face of this. And I mean, if that's out just by the tiniest bit, and even if you can't see that it's out, it's going to cause a vibration, I would think. I mean, I'm no engineer. I don't really know. Well, the only conclusion I've come up with is that that flange doesn't play well with the yoke on the transfer case. I don't know if that's the problem. I have no idea. But after putting this thing back in and checking my angles again, the slope on the drive shaft was 0.8 degrees down. The slope on the transfer case output yoke was 6.5 degrees down, and the slope on the front pinion was 1.1 degrees up. So that gives you an operating angle from the front pinion and the shaft. It's within 1.9 degrees, which is completely within spec. And of course, the double cardan joint is a 5.7 degree angle. You divide that by 2 because there's 2 joints. So, I mean, that's also within spec. So it's definitely not an angle issue. And there's no way that Tom Woods sent me another shaft out of balance, out of round, bent, or anything like that. I mean, they completely replaced the double cardan end. They rebalanced it, and you can see that because there's different weights on it now. The thing is within phase. I mean, it's not clocked wrong. I would believe that this is a precision-made drive shaft. It should be perfect, and it's probably perfect on a different vehicle. Whatever reason, they don't know, but this happens with the WK. They have no idea what causes this or why. So that being said, I ordered a stock style OEM shaft from Dorman off of Rock Auto, and that'll be here next week. For now, the old stock shaft is back in, and as you saw with that bad U-joint, no more vibration. So that just tells me that it's the shaft. It's the shaft. The shaft gave me the shaft. So that just tells me that it's the Tom Woods shaft. It's not that it's built wrong. It's just that it does not work with this vehicle. So But as Sean said, it's a gamble. You don't know if it's going to work or not in yours. So don't not get this shaft because of my problems. It might work perfectly fine for yours. I'd sell you mine, but they are graciously going to give me back my money. And that speaks volumes to a company. It's past their, and they've been working with me, and this has been fantastic that they're going to do that, because it is a lot of money for a drive shaft. It's probably the best drive shaft you can get for this Jeep, because nobody else makes these. Nobody. No, Adams doesn't make them. Nobody else. The only people that are making them are making or remanufacturing the stock style OEM with the Resepa joint. There's a reason why Chrysler used that style drive shaft. So they obviously know something, or they don't know something and they're just like, boom, this works. Let's use it. So there's that. Yeah, all of this, everything about my YouTube channel with this Jeep has been because of that stupid front drive shaft. Everything, which is just mind-boggling. Yes, I said bottling. You know. I just want to say thanks to Sean at Tom Woods. That's, pretty awesome of you guys to do that. I don't really want to give this shaft back. What I want to do is I want to take that flange and take it to a machine shop and have them take off 1/1000th of an inch around the perimeter of that flange and try it again. But I don't think Tom Woods would like that too much, and they probably wouldn't give me my money back after that. So I don't know. But that's the I need to know in me. That's what I want to do. I need to know. So I want to go do that, but I'm not going to do that. It's super frustrating. Hey guys, Editor Rob here. I was in the process of editing this video. I've been holding on to it for a while. I actually planned to release this video before I released the transfer case video, but whatever. Just wanted to get something out to you guys. While I was doing this, I did actually order a Dorman drive shaft, front drive shaft. It's got the Resepa front joint and the U-joint in the rear. Let me show you that. So that came Resepa. The nice thing about this is that it has replaceable U-joints. These can be replaced. So now this front shaft will be fully serviceable. Whoa. And if this goes bad again, I can replace it again. And if this goes bad, I can finally replace this. Sean at Tom Woods, Sean Woods, he is going to, actually he's already sent me the RMA to return this shaft. I don't want to return it, I really don't. I want to figure out why the F it doesn't work. It's not their shaft, it's whatever it is with the double cardan and a WK. I've been trying to figure it out ever since I discovered that this is finally my issue. And I've read a bunch of different people on like Facebook and some of the Jeep forums, like same thing, same issue. Even Sean has said it just happens with these shafts. So I don't know. I would love to know why. I would love to freaking know, because as you've seen or as you will see, all my angles seem to be within spec for this double cardan to work. So it makes no sense to me. Really don't know. It's very frustrating. I would rather have this shaft than the Dorman shaft. But like I said, at least I can repair this shaft now. Is it as strong? No. Is it going to solve my vibration? I really hope so. If not, I've got problems. I'll probably light a match and just light this thing on fire and be done with it. But so I think it'd be stupid of me to not take advantage of their refund, because it is a lot of money. But I don't know. I would love to know what the problem is. That's the kind of guy I am. I'd rather figure it out and make it work than get my money back, which makes no sense. So take that whatever way you will. But oddly enough, one of the cool things I found when I was looking at this problem that other people were having a couple nights ago, I came across someone else on one of the Jeep pages. Actually, it's a WK page that was having an issue with something totally different and related to getting their CV shaft out and back into the differential. And I came across somebody that posted my diff video, which was really cool to see that linked to someone else's problem. And I had literally just found it within 20 minutes of it being posted. So I wasn't looking for that. I just came across it and was surprised that you guys are sharing my stuff. So thank you. I really do appreciate that. Made me feel good and made me feel like I'm actually doing what I was hoping to do, and that's to help people with these WKs, because there's really no other info. Like, there's not a whole lot of stuff. And you see people that have like 6-inch lifts and this and that, but you don't see them creating content on how they did it or how to do it or any of that stuff. So I don't know, whatever. I don't want a 6-inch lift in this. I really don't. If I'm going to do that, I'm swapping the front axle and putting in, like a Dana 44 or something up front. I'm not lifting this thing crazy. This isn't meant to be some rock crawling, rock buggy bouncer thing. I just want to be able to go over some cool shit and drive down some nice back roads and maybe even go to like, an off-road park that you can do some easier shit without damaging your truck, your rig. So I'm going to go swap this Dorman in, and you guys can watch the rest of this video. Thanks for letting me interrupt. Well, hopefully this helps you if you're in this situation and you need a front drive shaft for this thing. Probably should stick with OEM. Unless you're going to be rock crawling with this thing, then I would get a Tom Woods drive shaft, and I wouldn't drive this thing on the highway. But I do, and I can't live with the vibration. Can't do it. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I learned something. I've learned a whole shitload of something. The rabbit hole of drive shafts. Crazy. It's a lot to know. There's a lot of different things about drive shafts that you don't think about, because why would you? I could probably go work for Tom Woods at this point. No, probably not. They wouldn't want me.